lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven rings with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the glistening sky. Let it resound loud as the roaring sea. The Negro national anthems, everyone. Well, before I get to that, some of you probably are wondering why I'm wearing a mask. Well, for those of you who don't know yet, I have a surprise for the world that I am going to be revealing in the near future. So, in the meantime, I don't want to let the cat out the bag, for lack of a better phrase. But back to the Negro national anthem. I remember being in elementary school and going to assemblies in the auditorium, and we'd sing the national anthem, and then afterwards we'd sing the Negro national anthem. And this one particular day, we kids were singing the Negro national anthem, and the auditorium door on the side doors were open. And there was a lady, African-American lady. She was pretty old. She was walking by, and she stopped in her tracks and turned and looked in at us. And, you know, in that moment, the look that she had on her face, it's so memorable. Like, I can see it like it was just yesterday. It was a look of so many different emotions. I think that's what really struck me. I mean, I saw happiness. I saw sadness. I saw a look of pride when she looked in at us children. I mean, it was just so much there. And, you know, I was about 7 or 8 at the time, and I really didn't understand how much that moment meant to her. At that time in my life. I mean, I just thought, well, hey, she's enjoying us kids singing a song, you know. But, of course, as I grew up and I learned about the history of slavery in this country and all that went with that whole thing, just the slavery and then leading to the civil rights movement and all of that, I realized that for that old African-American lady, it just went so very deep for her, because I know that this is a woman that lived through the civil rights movement and probably saw, oh my God, an insurmountable amount of injustice. I'm sure she did. And as a adult, I realized that song means so much and represents so much to anyone with African American blood in them, such as myself. But as a multiracial individual, I started to think how that song would resonate with the other bloodlines that run through me. You know, the people, my ancestors, my family that you know, belong to the other bloodlines that run through my veins. And I really, really felt like, my goodness, that song, like, not only does it mean so much to the African American side of me, but it can mean and does mean so much to all the sides of me. I mean, my father was an East Indian man. He was of East Indian descent from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. This is Dad. Yeah. They used to call him the Indian Elvis. And yeah, he was pretty good looking and he knew it. He definitely knew it. But, you know, my ancestors from his side of the family, they left India in the early 1900s. It was like the late 1800s to early 1900s. And they left India as indentured servants to go to Trinidad to work in the sugarcane fields. And I know that my ancestors saw so much strife and endured so much struggle. I mean, that taking that journey across the ocean as indentured servants, I can't even imagine the things that they went through. And I know that that song, the Negro National Anthem, the words of that song could certainly represent something for them. And for my family and currently on the planet today, my Indian family, because it transcends through the generations. So yeah, definitely. And this is Mom, my mom, in her younger days. And Mom is a mix of French, Black, and Native American. And actually, this is my mom and dad when they first got married. Yeah, Mom had a sari on. Yeah, Mom and Dad. But on my mom's side, my great-great-grandmother, Grandma Girardin, was a white woman from France. She was French. And she left France as a little girl with her family, or I think it was around the age of 12. They were from Alsace-Lorraine, France. And I know I'm not saying it correctly. My French is horrible. But Alsace-Lorraine was invaded by the Germans. The Germans wanted that part of France. And families were forced to give up their businesses, and many of them fled. They left and went to other countries. And my great-great-grandmother left with her family as a little girl and went through Ellis Island. She grew up in New Jersey, and as a teenage girl, I think probably around the age of 16, 17, in that range, she left and went to New York and started working, where she met my great-great-grandfather, Mr. Henry Bowling, who was from Virginia, and he was a mix of Black, white, and Native American. And so for these two during that time to get together, get married, and have children, that was pretty big, because that was a time in the late 1800s, early 1900s, when it was definitely believed that people needed to stick to their own kind. And so for them to be able to stand in their truth and be honest about their love for one another and be together during those times, that was big. And I'm sure that they went through their injustices and their strifes and struggles. I mean, I know that. And I know for both of them, my white great-great-grandmother and my multiracial great-great-grandfather, the lyrics of the Negro National Anthem would have definitely resonated with both of them. Then there's the Native American side of me. And we Americans know the history of the Native Americans. I mean, they are the true original people of this land. Everyone else are descendants from immigrants, or are immigrants, here in this country. So the Native Americans are the true people of the land, and, they basically had their land stripped from them, and they were basically allotted to these areas called reservations, where many of them live today. Fortunately, a lot of them are doing well. Not all of them, but a lot, because they have these casinos now that they run on the reservation, especially here in South Florida. We have the Seminole Indians and the Miccosukee Indians, and they both have casinos on their reservations. Last I heard, they're doing pretty good, and so talk about retribution, right? But yeah, the Native Americans, they definitely would be able to relate to the words of that song, because they saw a lot of struggle, a lot of injustice, and endured a lot of discrimination, and just so I know definitely it would resonate with my Native American ancestors. Looking at the world today, I think that we, as a human race, really need to understand, finally get that the true beauty of this planet is the diversity of the planet. That's where the true beauty lies. The diversity that we have here on the planet. And you know, as different as we are from one another, we share a very profound thing. And that is that we are all living this human experience in the same time and space together. That's profound. And that's that thing that's so profound and that connects each and every one of us. But with everything that's happening in the world, there's so many people that I just don't think have gotten it. And I don't know if they'll ever get it, that, you know, our diversity is the beauty. Because every single country around the world has some sort of an example of a group or a certain type of person that was persecuted or discriminated against or ostracized or even killed because they were different. Because they were different for whatever reason, whether it was color or religion or class. I mean, here in this country, it's been race, here in America. But, you know, in Ireland, it's been religion, the Protestants and the Catholics. In India, it's class. In Africa, it's tribal. And unfortunately, when these sort of things happen, they can lead to horrific acts of genocide that we've seen in the history of the world. Slavery, oh my gosh, went on for hundreds of years. So many people died during that Middle Passage, leaving Africa as slaves. I mean, millions of people. The Holocaust, 7 million Jews killed just because they were Jewish. Rwanda, which just happened not too long ago in the 1990s. I'm on one tribe, you're on the other tribe. Because you're not on my tribe, that makes you bad. So I kill you. Hundreds of thousands were slaughtered. Genocide. And not too long ago, in the 1990s. So we have these examples, and you would think that by now, we as a human race would finally get it. Like, we'd get the fact that, look, we need to really and truly embrace one another. With the horrific acts that are taking place now when it comes to the radical Muslims, ISIS happens to be the number one radical Islamic group right now in the world that have done some horrific acts against humanity. And it all boils down to the fact that because you're not Muslim, you're not worshiping or connecting with God the way we do, we're going to kill you. You're wrong. I don't know. My prayer for humanity is that we all can truly come to a point where we'll be able to see the divinity in each one of us. That we can see the divinity in each other. And I know that if that day comes, to the deepest, depths of my soul, I know that that would mean world peace for us. That would mean peace on earth for every single human being on the planet. Every single human being. So I say that we bring back the Negro National Anthem and we rename it the World Unity Anthem. And hey, maybe even ISIS will stand and sing it with us. I don't know about that one. But, you know, my prayer is that one day, we might see true world peace.